Hello guys, Bashar here. So we are together with one more video. By the way, it sometimes irks me when some content creator has the exact same intro over and over, so I try to deviate from it just a little bit, right? Because it goes as a reflex. I just say the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I'm trying to prevent that. Anyway, let me not make you wait. In this video, I want to talk to you about filters. So I do have a video on filters, right? In this video, specifically, I am going to, suggest you a few filters that I have. I have handcrafted these myself from, on top of never things, of course. So I have 3 filters active at the moment, or maybe I should just say how to, reach my filters. You go to FilterBlade.xyz, right? And you search for my in-game tag GhostQQ 3095 or 3095, if I recall, I think. So I have 3 filters there right now, right? One of them should be Season 4 V3, aka version 3. Then I have Temple V1, Temple version 1, and then I have Temple version 2. And let me elaborate. So why do I do this instead of, getting someone else's filter, right? And that's going to be a little bit funny and somewhat hypocritical, I guess, because that's what I'm going to suggest to you. So I don't like taking a filter as a whole because, I don't know what that person has turned on. I don't know what that person has turned off. Maybe, there is something that I would like there that's turned off. If there's extras turned on, that's not too bad, right? We can turn it off, but maybe there's something valuable that's there turned off. So, and I will tell you what I have turned off, so you can judge for yourself. So all of the 3 filters are there, and as I update them, you will also get the updates as far as I know. So Season 4 version 3 is the filter that I have been using across all seasons, kind of, so to speak. Anything below 1 exalted is turned off, currency-wise. Runes, etc. 10 exalted neighborhood is on. All rare weapons and armors are turned off. Yeah, because I have found I was not able to, map or anything, right? Because you get a lot of high tier drops. I did turn off everything up until tier 4 and 5 at first. That didn't do it either, so I turned it all off, right? All of the armors and weapons are off, even on my most lenient filter. Fair warning. Jewelry, rings, amulets, belts, they are all on. According to the item level and whatnot. Expedition stuff is turned off. Delirium stuff is on. Breach stuff is on, right? They are pretty valuable this season. Uniques are on. Multi-base uniques are still on. For example, Sapphire Ring, Lazuli Ring, Gold Ring. These are all still on, right? Heavy Belt, aka Headhunter. So what I mean by those is there are some items with multiple uniques across the board, and some of those are worthless and some of them are valuable. For example, Headhunter, right? Because there was something like Wastegate or something like that. That's a unique heavy belt as well, which is a few exalted at best. So there is that. Those are still on. Yeah, and I did sort the tiering a little bit better because sometimes Neversing gets stuff wrong. I don't like to hear a sound and get orange ray or something like that when something worth 3 exalted drops, right? I don't like that, so I did tiering as well. But of course, values shift across the season, so sometimes they can be off, and that filter hasn't been tended to in a while. So after that, guys, if you've been following my videos, I did get started on the temple, and I have finally finished laying the outer layer, if you want to observe here. So at this point, it starts becoming somewhat lucrative, right? And so you get a lot of drops. So actually, at about this point, it does become a little bit, just a little bit more lucrative than usual. So the thing is, you cannot keep your filter. So guys, for 1 year, I have been playing Path of Exile 2, and never have I turned off Exalted Orbs, right? Exalted Orb itself and stuff that is worth about 1 Exalted, like Alchemy Orbs, I have never turned those off. I mean, I did turn Alchemy Orbs off, but they were worthless at the time. Season 3 buffed them. So, yeah, some change was in order. So, in my Temple version 1, Exalted level up to 3 Exalted or so is turned off. So, what is turned on? We do have, Greater Exalted, for example. We have Perfect Regal. We have Perfect Augmentation. Those are turned on. Armor Scrap, Arcanist Etcher are on. These are pretty valuable this season, right? For their own values. I mean, Val is off. Alchemy is off. You can probably tell. Chance Orbs are off, right? Chaos is all on. That's about 10 Exalted. Basic, normal and magic amulets are off, and rings, right? Even tiered ones. For rares, I kept the tiered ones, because the thing is, guys, I was running Temple back to back, and I was doing like 3 rounds and I was getting full, right? I don't like that, right? I want to get full as little as I can while picking up the best stuff. So I didn't touch the uniques at all. Multi-value bases are still on. What else did I turn off? And that was doing okay until I hit about this level, right? So 11 Spy Masters, and I started getting some rarity. I did start getting some rares of additional modifier, and at this point, so I get my personal record solo is 4 divines here, right? And I don't think it goes like below 2 divine, maybe on a very bad day. So, and you can imagine what kind of currency that enters, right? You get maps, you get jewels, you get rings, amulets, right? You get lineage gems. So lineage gems are turned off, the non-valuable ones. Everything about the divine level is on. Currency at like 10 exalted level is turned off. Chaoses are turned off, right? But greater chaoses are turned on. Perfect exalted is on. Perfect regal is off, actually. This perfect orb of augmentation is extremely valuable. It's like 1/10 of a divine. I didn't have the heart to turn it off. So, low 10 exalteds is the limit, right? But for runes, so the thing is, guys, currency is, it's literally currency and it's worth something immediately, right? But other stuff has to be converted. So I'm a little bit more strict when it comes to those. For runes, everything is off except for this one, right? This is about half a divine. Everything else is, 20, 10 exalted, 30 exalted, maybe they are all off. Runes are all off. Soul cores, only the most valuables are on. These are on, right? Some of the idols are on because there are multiple divine mammons in there. Yeah. For skill gems, I have level 19 skill gems, level 19 spirit gems, and obviously level 20 of both, right? So level 19 skill gems are turned off. Let me see what else have I got. Because as I said, the 10 exalted level is turned off. The Arcanist Etcher, Armor Scrap, these all go. Gem Cutter's Prism, they'll go. Only Perfect Jeweler's Orb remains here. That's still like 50 exalted or so. Annals are still on. Yeah, and it provides much more refined gameplay, right? I mean, my temple runs have sped up by a lot. So before we start our run, I want to show to you how the run goes. I want to tell you what I think a filter should be about, right? Because I have seen varying opinions here. Maybe I should have opened with this, but I'm a little bit intimidated by you guys. You guys are always like, tell us what you want to talk about immediately, then chat. So a filter should be about seeing only what you want on the ground. So a lot of people are like getting a lot of garbage on the ground and they're like, no, I'm just ignoring those. I mean, you can't ignore those, right? I mean, if you have like one or maybe two items, yeah, but if your screen is getting full all the time, that's gonna take some processing power, and I would rather not see the item if I'm not going to pick it up. Okay, let's just do it. So right now, my filter version 2 is loaded, right? And you'll see how little I have to pause for loot because, it kind of turns everything off.
These temples, always rearranging their guts.
Okay. Is that already divine? Dang. Let's get our infuser here. So guys, what I tried to do was like, I kept stuff worth about 0.1 divine on, right? Stuff below 0. So 8 divines are about 300 exalteds now, so I kept stuff on that's about 30 exalted. And take a look at this, guys, so clean, right? And take a look at this. There's an exalted orb there, jam cutters, prism armor, scrap, and this is like 4 or 5 exalted. This is something like that. This is the exalted, yeah. And guys, you might think it doesn't matter too much. It does so much matter, yeah. And obviously, I'm losing currency on this, but I'm saving time. And thing is, time saved can actually mean more currency. Why? Because I do not spend too much time in clearing and picking up this stuff, which means I can go grind more maps and get the energy back, and I can get back in the temple, faster. And thing is, I have only started becoming profitable, right? I mean, like 6 more rooms in, I would have to do this, right? On some level. I am going to reset my temple, if you remember my previous video. Now I'm gonna touch it. The stuff that I'm keeping as medallions is pretty much garbage, but yeah, I do have a plan. Okay. So clean, guys, this is insane. Let me just go over to the previous room and show you. Is this room done? Okay. Let's just go to the previous room and load the other filter. So this is going to be temple version 1. In temple version 1. Oh no, that's temple version 2 again. Temple version 1. See, for example, I'm seeing the chaos here. What else? In here there is nothing. Let me load the usual filter that I have been using. Take a look at this. This isn't so bad, by the way, but see? Well, that's actually something I would like to pick up. See? Let me show you how bad it gets. Okay, so this is, as I said, my mapping regular filter, and you can see how unplayable it gets. Picking all of these up loses serious time. See? constant feedback. And another good thing about this is when you have a strict filter and you don't pick up the stuff that's worth less than 0.1 divine. If you have leeches with you or if you have friends, it can be worth their time, right? Because you are actually, take a look at this. When I am leaving a lot on the ground, so could help them. Yeah, see. And imagine, guys, imagine me trying to pick all of these up. It's just too much, right? And as I said, this is not even a good temple, right? It's late stages of early temple or early stages of mid temple. So this is the season 4 version 3, right? As I said, this is the regular filter I was using by mapping. Let me go to the season 4 temple version 1. Okay, so that is a little bit better, as you can see, more tidier. I still see the chaos. By the way, guys, it did break my heart to turn off chaos for the first time in my life. I mean, as I did tell you, I did turn off the exalters for the first time as well a few days ago. But yeah, you can't just play, right? Too much time goes to waste. Let's go. So this is still temple version 1. You can see the difference. Gem cutter prisms are on. See, it does make you, waste time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying gem cutters prisms aren't worth picking up, but at some point you have to find the sweet spot, right? I mean, if you are running around picking stuff that doesn't add up to a divine when your temple is, on average producing many divines, then that's a waste of time, right? You would be better served in grinding 3 maps and getting in temple and... Ooh, that was dangerous. Okay. Okay, so this is tidier, but even with this one, guys, I mean, you get some unique drops every once and then, and 3 or 4 runs, you will get full, right? At my level of the temple, right? Around 30 rooms. So, for example, Greater Exalted Orb, the strictest filter, the one I just crafted, would not show this. See? You have to hold on Alt to do it. Did I leave? Yeah, these... Can I? No. So, and guys, this is my... Achilles heel, this item, right? This is worth like 5 exalted at most, and it does take a little bit of time to sell in the currency exchange. So I have been, trying very hard to turn this off, right? I found it in the filter, it's off. Nope, it just won't turn off, right? I did try importing the item from the game, turning off again. Nope, it just doesn't get turned off. If anyone can do this, please let me know how to. I am mighty annoyed by that item. And I had the exact same thing last season as well, right? That stuff is worthless, and I don't want to see it on the ground. And it does drop, let's say, infrequently, right? Maybe not very frequent, but yeah. So I guess we can all agree that it is very unplayable with my regular exalted level, because you can't play from picking up stuff, right? Your temple average clear time gets so long, right? And the temple version 1, as I said, at this point it starts getting a little bit annoying, right? You get full, right? And obviously what you pick up also depends on your currency level, but if you have this kind of temple, then you should be, I guess, in the high hundreds divines neighborhood, if not thousands. So turning off 1 to 3 exalted stuff is fine. Okay, so I think that's it for the temple. Yeah. So it does show special stuff like this. Normally walls are turned off. Let me show you. See, normally I don't see walls, but when you click on the thing, as you can see, let me just demonstrate the differences one last time. As you can see, all of the rare weapons and armors are turned off on all levels, right? Temple version 1 doesn't show anything either, and season 4 version 3, yeah, see. Oh, I did click escape, okay. That's the difference, right? So it doesn't look like that there is a lot of difference between Temple version 1 and Temple version 2, but there is. As I said, in Temple version 1 we have Arcanist Etcher Zone, Armor Scrap Zone, Greater Exalted Zone, right? Chaos Orb Zone. They are all turned off in this one. So if you want to use them, as I said, you can find them under GhostQQ 3095. And I will be updating this Temple version 2. Right, I am done with the other two. Right, I am on Temple version 2 now, and that's where I'm going to do the updates. And I think when I do the updates, you will also receive them. I mean, I think the final goal would be when I have a really proper temple. I think anything at about below half a divine level will be turned off. I have never gotten there, but what I'm hearing is that really good temples have a yield of about 70 to 100 divine. So when you are racking that kind of currency, it really has to be strict. Because guys, imagine you are doing the temple, you get full, you leave, you come back in. Yeah, not unacceptable, right? You should be going in with an empty inventory, and you should be able to finish it without getting full. So yeah, that's my take on it. And if you want to use my filters, feel free to do so. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer. And if someone has the answer to turning that Twilight Reliquary key off, please let me know. And I'll see you in another video. Thank you.